Okay, this one was sent in by Matt from Georgia. And let me place the bets. $500 bankroll system. And we're going to start with 5 on there and 5 on the last one that came out. It was 26, so that one. And we're going to play follow the leader. And the other 2 don't really matter, just as long as you follow the leader. And spin. 19. It's a 19 red. All right, that's a loss. All right, so now we're going to put 15 here and 15 here and spin. This will recover our $5. So 27 red, that's a recovery. We won 15, so we should be $5 profit now. So we go back to base, but we're going to still play follow the leader, and let's play the middle this time and spin. All right, and 7 red. All right, that's a loss. So we're gonna put 15 here and 15 here and spin. And what we're looking for is we're just looking to get up to $50 and that's it. All right, that's a 6 black. All right, that's another loss. All right, so with that being said, now we lost $60, $70 in the hole so far. So now we're going to do $50 and $50 and spin. That's a 16 red, finally got the win. That's a $50 win. So we're gonna rebet. All right, now we're up $15, all right? And we're gonna go back to base 5 and let's go the high number again and spin. That's a 1 red, we lost. So now we're gonna put 15 on here and 15 on here and spin. That's a 23 red. That should be a win. Yep. All right, so now we go back to 5 and now we could play the 1. All right, and spin. Now we're up 20. It's a 33 black, that's a loss. So we're gonna put 15 here and 15 here. And spin. All right, that's a 33 black, that's another loss. So we're gonna rebet. And hold on. Now we put 20, we put 50 on each and spin. That's a 6 black, that's a win. All right, so now we got our money back. So we go back to 5 and now we're gonna play the first column and let's go with the last column and spin. Now we're up 30 units. We're looking to get to 50 units. That's a 27 red and that's a win. So we're gonna put $5 there and let's go with $5 in the middle now and spin. That's a 3 red. It's a loss. Man, I should have played that. I was thinking that too. 15 and 15 now and spin. All right, that's a 17 black. That's a good one. So now we're gonna go back to $5 on that one. And let's play the first column again and spin. Now we're up 40 units. That's a 2 black. That's a win. So we're gonna go with $5 there and $5 on, let's go with the high numbers. Spin. One more win and we got our goal. That's a 7 red. That's a win. All right, gang. We made our 50 bucks for the day. Now, if we were to go another session, we could try another session to make this video a little bit lengthier. So let's go for another session. However, we are going to just spin without betting, like we walked away from the table. All right, that's an 8 black. All right, now we come back to the table and we say, okay, let's play follow the leader. So that's 8, and let's just play, let's play the longest since it's hit, and that's that one, and spin. It's a 32 red. That's good. Okay, we're gonna rebet, and let's change this one up. Whoops, not that way. Let's change that one to that and spin. That's a 30 red. All right, that's a loss. So now we're gonna rebet, and we're gonna add 10 to this one and add 10 to that one and spin. That's a 34 red. We lost again. I'm gonna put $50 on this one and $50 on the longest one since it's hit. That's that one, and spin. That's a 6 black. All right, we got the win. All right, so now we're gonna go back to 5 on the 6. Whoops, clear. We're gonna change that bet to 5, and then 5 on, let's go with the middle and spin. Okay, that's a 14 red. That's a win. So we're gonna rebet, and now we're gonna play the middle. So 5 on the middle, and let's play 5 here and spin. So 12 red. All right, that's a loss. All right, so we're gonna follow the winner, follow that. So we're gonna pay 15 there, and the longest since it's hit is that one. Okay, so it's this one. 15, all right, and spin. It's a 36, we got the win. So now we go back to 5. And we're gonna play $5 there and $5 there and spin. That's a 13 black. All right, that's a win. So we're gonna rebet, and we're on the 13, and let's change this one over to here and spin. All right. All right, that's an 8 black. That's a win. All right, so now we're gonna place 5 there and 5 on this one now and spin. All right, that's a 9. That should be a win. All right, so now we're gonna put $5 there again and $5 there again and spin. All right, that's a 27 red. All right, that's a win. All right, so now we're gonna rebet, and We'll play there, and we're going to, let's get rid of this one and play it here. And spin. One more win and we'll be done with session 2. That's a 32 red. Nice, that's a win. All right, so we got done with session 2. Let's have one more session. So let's go pretend we walk away from the table by spinning without betting. All right, that's a 7 red. All right, so now we see that 7 was the last number to hit, so we're going to play 7. And the longest since it's hit is that middle column, so let's play that and spin. This is our 3rd session now. That's a 10 black. That's a win. So we're going to follow the leader, 10, and we're going to the longest since it's hit, which is 30. Nope, it's still the middle column. And spin. All right, that's a 4 black. That's a good one. So now we're going to follow the leader again. And the longest since it's hit is still that middle column. So let's spin. It's a 30 red. That's a loss. So now we're going to go up to 15 units, but we're going to play here. And we're going to play the longest since it's hit, still this middle column. So spin. That's a 29 black. All right, that's a win. So we're going to rebet. No, we're not going to rebet. We're going to place $5 on the last dozen. And the longest since it hit, still there, and spin. That middle column is due. That's a 2. That's a loss. So what we're going to do is we're going to rebet. And we're going to put 10 here. Actually, no. We're still going to play follow the leader. 5. So we're going to put 5, 10, 15. And 10, 15, and spin. That's a 9 red. That's a win. All right, so now we're going to go back to, this one's the winner. And this is the longest, this is still the longest one since it's hit, so we're going to play that one. All right, that's a 15 black. All right, that's a $5 win. So we're going to rebet. And we're going to, that's finally came in. And the longest since it's hit was the 3rd dozen. So we're going to the 3rd dozen and spin. That's a 28 black. All right, that's a win. All right, that's a win. So let's go ahead and put a $5 chip on 28 and a $5 chip on the longest since it's hit is now the 1st dozen. And let's spin. It's a 17 black. That's a loss. All right, so we're going to put $5 there and $5 on the longest since it's hit, which would be the 1st column, 1st dozen, and spin. Oh, I was supposed to put 15. Sorry, guys. That's not good. All right, so now we're, yeah, we should have been up more than that. All right, so let's do it now. So this is the one that just won, so we're going with 15 here. And 15 on the longest since it's hit is the 3rd dozen, and spin. Hopefully this doesn't bite us in the butt. That's a 29 black. That's a win. So now we're right back where we were supposed to be. So now we go back to $5 on that and $5 on the longest since it's hit there, and spin. 140. So another $10 and we'll get our goal for the day, 12. All right, that's a loss. So what we're gonna do is rebet, and wait, we're gonna go with the dozen that just came in, $5 there, but it's gonna be 15 now, and the longest since it's hit right here, 15. All right, and spin. That's a 2 black. That should be a good one. Yep. All right, so now we're gonna go back to base again, and we're gonna put $2, $5 there, and $5 on the longest since it's hit, that one, and spin. And this should be our last one for the day, and that's a 2 black. I think that one. Yes. All right, gang. And as you see, we went 3 sessions and we made 150 units. Now, if I really wanted to make this video really, really big, I would have kept going. I would have went, this is a good system. I find that the small wins at a time really put you on a good path. And if you walk away after every $50 win, and then you go back to the table and try it again, I think with this system, you do pretty well. Just make sure you follow the leader and the longest since it's hit. And whether you win or lose, I would place it whether you win or lose, rather than playing the same one just because you lose. Just when you lose, just move it. Move the bet. Move the bet on every chance you get. All right. And anyway, let me know what you think in the comments below, and don't forget to like. Don't forget to share, and don't forget to hit that notification bell so you don't miss another roulette spin. Thank you, and you guys have a great rest of your day, and have a fabulous weekend.